Hello team, welcome back to another Line War cast. This is your map. A bunch of small islands, 4 trade routes on the left side of the map. Relatively sparse on the right side, 3 gases and another 2 gases on the bottom. 2 players are EnerGyZ in blue, who's gone for this over the water pick, and Nickname in red, who has gone on this top island and going for a very quick 2 towns and port. So Nickname's off to a very strong economic start. EnerGyZ going for 2 docks, a factory, and a barracks, and Nickname's going for airports behind this. Nickname didn't pick all 6 starting territories, electing instead to have a bunch more money to go for this airport, 2 docks, and a barracks. I assume what's about to happen is that Nickname's going to use commandos here and build commandos out of the barracks to be able to paradrop onto the different islands in range. Airport from EnerGyZ, I like this. Industry, what we just heard, that's a farm noise. Nickname's going for more industry. May as well. It's a very safe island right now. Neither player will know where the other one is at this point. Artillery coming out of the factory for EnerGyZ, and infantry to cap the land. Transport boat out of one of the docks, and a missile boat, I believe. Yes, a missile boat for EnerGyZ out of the second dock. This will be very good potentially for cutting off the air from Nickname. If EnerGyZ can get boats up to like the north here and cut off all the, direct approaches from Nickname, depending on what Nickname's going for planes out of this, like after the transport plane. And this is the expected first transport plane. We can look at the range on this airport. The red line is where the transport plane can get to. So technically Nickname could drop right here on the base, but Nickname's going for an entry point along on the right side of the map, which is definitely a play, probably the safer play. Nickname might suspect that EnerGyZ is here. I'm not really sure. And 2 transport boats from Nickname to get off of this main landmass. And what I assume Nickname's going to try to do is to get the trade routes going. Trade routes are worth 10 territories worth of income, the little squares we see on the map. So it is a strong way to, if you don't have a lot of land to cap, which Nickname doesn't because this is a small island, trade routes could be a great way to supplement the income. Nickname's at 446 total income. EnerGyZ at 320 right now. And that's really only because Nickname has gone for this early economy start with the port, 2 industries, and another town. Nickname's going for his second transport plane, which is generally what most people seem to do, is go for the second transport plane. And another barracks for Nickname. So 2 barracks are what generally is a good number for running 2 transport planes, so you can constantly be dropping commandos. And there's even more transport boats from Nickname here. So Nickname's not really feeling any pressure right now to defend. And as I say that, probably 2 missile boats are about to pop up, and that's what Nickname's working on. Going for the 3rd industry as well, which sets up, when this industry is done, a city could be built. And trade routes are 10 territories worth of income. Cities are also 10 territories worth of income. Nickname's going to see this first transport boat as it comes out of the fog of war. And here it goes. This is going to be a very tough task for these boats to land. This is EnerGyZ's view. Transport boats don't really have all that great vision. And now EnerGyZ knows that Nickname is here. And this is a very tough spot to land for these units. Again, looking at EnerGyZ's vision, because the buildings of Nicknames are built in the mountains, there's a stealth bonus. So these units of blue can't quite see this yet. So unfortunately not gonna be able to get a great scout here if you're EnerGyZ. Nickname's gonna shut this down quite well. Nickname's landed on this little island with a transport plane. Transport boat is probably going to go all the way to this right island, which is very strong. And it's very strong because EnerGyZ will need to be able to get over to this island at some point. And in the time that that's happened, one transport boat of units from Nickname will probably be able to set up a little bit of a base here. First gas for EnerGyZ and Nickname at the same time. Really, both players are about to run out of their first 30 gas. And one commando, which is stealth, picks off the last of these infantry. I didn't realize infantry could actually fall in the water. That was pretty wild. 3 transport boats now for EnerGyZ, who has transitioned the Navy to no longer, like the docks to no longer build transport boats, which I like. And the black plumes of smoke on the boats means that blue is out of gas. This is a lot of units on the left island. Nickname's going to definitely be able to take control of that. And as expected, here comes the transport boat, which drops off the units here. And eco-wise, 526 for Nickname and 474 for EnerGyZ. So really, EnerGyZ isn't super far behind on the income. Nickname's got 3 transport jets going, which is going to be very difficult for EnerGyZ to deal with if all these transport planes, start doing commando drops everywhere. Nickname's known for the commando multitask. It's very hard to deal with. And I'd expect Nickname to build a barracks here relatively soon when these infantry actually cap that location. Decent navy of missile boats for Nickname, who is beginning to get more adventurous with the commando drops. Here's another planned movement from Nickname. And this is perfect for EnerGyZ. These missile boats are going to be in the right place at the right time. And this transport plane, which doesn't have a ton of forward vision, is going to run right into it. If EnerGyZ is on top of it, these boats could probably go back to try to cut this off, but it's hard to see. There's a ton of stuff going on the map. And 4 commandos in a forest against 4 infantry, the commandos will very likely win this. Especially if they're fighting more or less all at once while the infantry isn't. And one of the strongest things about commandos is that as more of these units die for blue, the commandos might start going stealth. And exactly like we see here. EnerGyZ can't see these commandos anymore. Very tough to deal with. These 2 commandos that are dropping in for blue this is a very tough LZ. Right into 4 commandos. And Nickname's going to be able to clean this up. Here's that barracks we're talking about. So Nickname's going to be able to cap all of this land. And is now immediately moved to this other island. Which is a great strat that Nickname brought up in Twitch chat. Twitch.tv/SodaQuackers, self-plug, is that you get your infantry to cap 1 territory on an island, immediately build a barracks, which is responsible for then capping the rest of the territory, and send those 4 infantry that capped that location, send them immediately to another island, and rinse and repeat and do it again. Nickname's got another transport jet that's dropping on the mainland. That must have been cancelled at some point. And this will be very tough for EnerGyZ to deal with, who's gone for a sub-pen in the back. I don't necessarily dislike a sub-pen on a map like this, because there's a lot of open ocean and subs can be very good just prowling around. They're stealth units just like commandos, so if the boats are on their own, submarines can really destroy supply lines and navies, little boats, one at a time. Great navy fight. Right now, red has a numbers advantage, so same units. Numbers advantage for red. This is going to be good for Nickname. Nickname's got helicopters coming out of the airport now. And helicopters are actually kind of cool because the distance helicopters can travel is far enough that they could actually reach this landmass. So they can probably provide support for any landing parties that actually want to land on Blue's mainland. Tough loss for Blue right there, and Nickname's on top of it by moving the missile boats out of range. More commando drops from Blue. And I actually like this from EnerGyZ. There's a barracks here which is going to help over time build commandos. So Blue is actually going to be able to keep control of this island, but unfortunately has lost the naval battle, which is huge and really sets up Nickname to be able to push forward up to the coast and continue to drop commandos. 4 commandos here. This is tough. I mean, it's a great play by Blue to pressure this and to see this. We can look at the vision. So Blue doesn't know the commandos are here exactly. There's not enough units close enough to actually detect. Once these 4 infantry show up, they probably will be able to. First submarine is done for EnerGyZ. And where a submarine could be useful is if it went over here and plugged this choke and tried to hunt these 3 boats, which requires a lot of patience, a little bit of luck. 1 striker against 4 missile boats, unfortunately, isn't it. Here comes this trade route for Nickname. And another trade route. I mean, the second town is also connected. 534 income for EnerGyZ and 646 for Nickname. EnerGyZ is the cruiser now, which is great for the naval battles. Cruisers are pound for pound, maybe not pound for pound the best, but they are very good in a straight up fight against other boats. Nickname's already made their way to the bottom right island. And so economy-wise, this is going to probably take off very quickly for Nickname. And this is where the helicopters... Nickname actually did something where this retreat line, so all the helicopters are going to immediately fly to this island, which is getting its industry set up now. And then they can provide support for these commandos, and this is really the play of the game. Because with helicopter support, the 4 commandos might be able to take on this infantry, depending on how much work this helicopter does. Thing that's shoestringing Nickname hamstringing, I guess is the term. Nickname right now is the fact that there's no second gas yet for Nickname, and this is a little bit of a naval game, and navies take up a lot of energy. EnerGyZ has a little bit of an opportunity here when Nickname's out of gas like this, that these boats with the black plume of smoke will take much more damage. EnerGyZ could continue to take out some of these boats, but I also respect that EnerGyZ wants to back up, knowing that there's air support, and doesn't want to overextend with the airplanes, or the boats, pardon me. So the helicopters were able to land. Nickname took control of this territory, so the helicopters can land here, and now this becomes very difficult for Blue to dislodge. There's no SAMs as of yet. The first one is making its way down, or rather like up to this position, but it's going to take a while. 3 submarines for EnerGyZ, which is probably enough for how much submarines cost. Going overboard on submarines is one way to use a lot of gas, and it's also quite expensive. That beep is EnerGyZ's gas getting low. Neither player has a second gas yet. And Nickname's going for another barracks on the bottom, which this is a little bit, puts EnerGyZ on a little bit of a timer. I mean, this is a lot of economy that Nickname is capturing on both the top right island and the bottom right island. 3 helicopters and 3 commandos is quite a lot, really, when it comes down to it. And there's nothing that Blue has that can shoot these helicopters out of the sky right now. This is very good for EnerGyZ. And we can see in Nickname's vision, only one of the submarines is showing up right now on the vision, because 2 missile boats is not enough to actually detect all of this. And this is where submarines thrive. Nickname's trying to get out of here, but the subs are going to chase this down potentially. 2 more torpedoes in the water. We'll snipe the boat. This is probably the more important battle. I love that EnerGyZ has moved these boats up here to try to cut off these helicopters, and at the very least cut off more reinforcing helicopters. This airport is super deadly for EnerGyZ, and I don't think EnerGyZ knows that this exists yet. With an airport there, Nickname's going to be able to launch direct attacks on the base and the docks of EnerGyZ. Still only 1 factory and 2 SAMs at this point for EnerGyZ. This is very good for blue. If these helicopters were to try to attack these missile boats, the missile boats can still hit the helicopters as they're landed, and they do just as much damage to them. Perfect play. 3 transport jets that are all gonna drop smack dab in the middle here. This is likely going to be a game-ending move. Nickname's at over 1,000 income from doing all this island hopping. EnerGyZ, who's got a second gas on the way, which is definitely the play, is running at almost just over half as much income. 6 commandos is a lot here. They're going to be able to take out this barracks for sure. Nickname still doesn't see the sub pen. The commandos aren't close enough to see it. And navy-wise, Nickname looks to have a bigger navy, with the 3rd and 4th cruiser on its way. This is tough for EnerGyZ. When this one helicopter is going to be able to take out this depot, or this refinery, pardon me, which is very important for blue to be able to keep moving all these boats. Nickname's also got the top trade route set up now. The merchant boats will likely be, I mean, they will get built as soon as this second port is done. And Nickname at this point has spotted this sub pen. And this is still a lot of commandos for blue to deal with. 6v2 for red on the missile boats on this fight. And Nickname will be able to even potentially push up to the docks. Nickname's almost taken the entire right-hand side. I like that the submarines are here on the map right now. Commando sniped the sub pen. And econ-wise, this would be unbelievable if EnerGyZ were to be able to come back. I mean, I think they're potential. Nickname's 3rd on the ladder right now. That kind of says it all, and the income really shows the difference here. EnerGyZ got to this island, which is great. If those commandos were to start capping all the territories, a little bit of a flank from EnerGyZ on the boats, but it's just too many boats for red. And cruisers as well, that add a lot of beef to this army. The trade route now is dotted red for Nickname, indicating that it's actually up and running and will begin to contribute economy to red. And these 6 commandos really got their values worth. That airport on the bottom left is still huge for Nickname, and pretty soon a BBD, a big Basantos drop, could happen on this airport or any one of these high value targets, pardon me. This is great from the subs. I mean, the subs can snipe this port, which, I mean, the trade route is worth 10 territories worth of income, so that'd be really great for blue to be able to snipe that. At this point, the income is such that Nickname is just going to run away with this game. But all things considered, GG to EnerGyZ. Well played. And same to Nickname, who's getting 3rd gas. Or rather, 2nd gas, and there's 2 more power plants for Nickname to supplement this gas income. 2 strikers, and here come the commandos that are dropping directly on the dock. And the 2 strikers would be able to kill this gas themselves with no missile boats around. GG. Well played. I mean, that just shows if you island hop very quickly, your economy can skyrocket at a pretty wild pace. Of course, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the Line War Discord if you want to learn more about the game. Otherwise, enjoy, have fun, have a great night, day, evening, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever it is for you. We'll see you around. Peace.